Good afternoon, folks, and welcome back to Jackson for the series finale between the Mississippi College Choctaw and our Union University Bulldogs. For those of you who were with us earlier today, we watched the Bulldogs fall late in the game 17-8. A long-fought battle began when the Bulldogs jumped out to an early 5-2 lead before the Choctaw worked it back to claim the lead in the 6th inning. The Bulldogs tied it up in the 7th before the doors were blown off during the 8th inning with a series of walks and batters hit by pitches, with the Choctaw going up by 4. The game exploded in the 9th inning as Rollins sealed the deal with a grand slam to right to double the Bulldogs' score 16-8 before Reese hit the nail in the coffin with a solo shot to left. Gabe Garner got the win going 2 2/3 innings, giving up 2 runs on 2 hits. Jackson Smith got the save after Brandon Gardner threw 5 innings, giving up 6 runs on 7 hits. Ford Choctaw had multi-hit games. We saw extra base hits from Rollins, Drake, Vance, Alcantara, and then the 2 home runs, the grand slam by Rollins, as well as the solo shot by Reese. For the Bulldogs, Lane Evans went 2 innings and got the loss, giving up 3 runs on 1 hit. It's definitely a different story than last night, where the Bulldogs got the win in dramatic fashion with a 6-5 victory late last night here in Jackson. Mississippi College opened the top half of the game with a solo home run to left field, taking an early lead. Union answered in the bottom half when Alec Hardy scored on a single from Grayson Swanson. The Choctaw picked up 4 more runs in the 3rd and 4th innings, increasing their lead to 4. Union rallied in the middle innings, scored 3 runs in the 5th inning, and eventually tied the game in the 6th. With the back half pitching duel, the Bulldogs won it off in walk-off fashion in the bottom of the 9th inning when Blake Barrett had a bases-loaded single to shallow right center field and scored Mitch Sisk. He came sliding across home, and the team rallied around him. Great evening here in Jackson last night. Lots of celebration and excitement from the fans. Barrett led Union last night, going 3 for 5, including the game-winning hit. Grant Ross and Barrett led the team with 2 RBIs. Today we see Grant Ross on the mound, Blake Barrett over there at first. Sam Poindexter started on the mound yesterday for Union, throwing 8 innings, allowing only 3 earned runs on 5 hits, earning 5 strikeouts. He was incredible and continued to battle late in the game, even as his pitch count exceeded 130 pitches. Ryan Evans earned the win last night, throwing 1 inning, giving up no hits, and striking out 1. And now we bring you to the rubber match here this afternoon in Jackson. It's a cool Saturday of Easter weekend at Fesmeyer Field, where we will see the battle of the freshman lefties. For the Bulldogs, we see Grant Ross with a 14.62 ERA out of Collierville High School, pitching in his 6th game of the season, starting in his 2nd. And for the Choctaw, it is Gavin LeBlanc on the mound. He's got 7 losses this season, hunting for his first win of the season. Up to the plate right now, we're going to get it started with the starting lineups. The second baseman, Bridley Thomas, currently at the plate. Batting second, the center fielder, Jordan Rollins. Batting third, the first baseman, Caleb Reese, batting cleanup today. And playing right field is JT Vance. Batting fifth, the left fielder, Cole Drake. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, Wesley Sides. Batting seventh, the catcher, Bo Kirsch. Batting eighth, the third baseman, Bryce LaRocca. And batting ninth, the shortstop, Luis Alcantara. Pretty similar to the lineup that we saw them utilize last night. A couple changes today, and that's going to get off the glove of Mitch Sisk, grabbed by Netterville, and he's just going to eat it. And Thomas is going to get on to get this game started here at 4:04 is the starting time of this one. They're going to credit that as a single to Thomas. Because of the difficulty there, Sisk was able to get a glove on it, but not enough. Jordan Rollins next up to the plate. Center fielder hitting .257. He's had 109 at-bats, 25 runs, 28 hits this season, 5 doubles, 1 triple, 9 home runs. And that's going to be a long shot towards left field. Going back at the wall is Swanson, and they're going to say it's fair ball. And it's going to be a home run. No outs here to start the game off. Rollins with another shot this afternoon. That's going to give the Choctaw a 2-0 lead. He had the grand slam about a half an hour ago, and he's got another one, his second home run of the day. Bulldogs down by 2 before they can even blink to get this game started. So Thomas comes around to score. Rollins, they're going to give him a 2-run shot on that one. And the Choctaw jump out to an early 2-0 lead here in Jackson. Grant Ross so far this season on the mound has appeared in 5 games. This is his second start. He's given up 9 hits, 13 runs, walked 6, struck out 11. He's hit 6 with a pitch and throws that one right over the plate for Caleb Reese. Reese, another powerful bat in this lineup. We didn't get to see him utilized last night, but he has been a big part of today. Of course, had the solo shot at the end of the second game earlier this afternoon. That was really the nail in the coffin. Put the Choctaw up 17-8 this afternoon. And that's going to bounce off the leg, and the first 3 runners will advance. So Reese goes to first on the hit by pitch, and we are underway here in Jackson. For the defense for the Bulldogs, pretty similar to what we've seen. A couple changes from last night. They are utilizing no designated hitter in this one. They're going to let Grant Ross hit as well today. We've seen them do that quite a few times this season, especially with guys like Mitch Sisk or Britt Netterville on the mound. And so they are going to utilize the pitcher-hitter combination today. So we'll see Grant Ross batting 7th in the lineup for the Bulldogs. But in the outfield, we have Grayson Swanson out in the left. They're giving Frierson the afternoon off. We got Colby Davis out there in center field today. Carson Chavies out in right. As usual, the infield looks pretty similar to the foundational team that we've seen Union utilize. Chavies is going to be running over towards foul territory. It is going to fall just in front of the turtle. So we got Mitch Sisk over there at third base, Britt Netterville at shortstop, Alec Hardy at second, and Blake Barrett, who has been very heroic in the first 2 games of the series. He struggled early in the season to get his bat going, but last night, of course, leading the team, going 3 for 5. He had the winning hit in the bottom of the 9th inning to score Mitch Sisk. He had the game-tying hit as well today. Quite a few RBIs for him to increase his RBI total to 7, and just like that, Grant Ross is able to ring up J.T. Vance, the cleanup hitter, and the Bulldogs are able to record their first out on strikes. Cole Drake, left fielder, up to the plate, sophomore, hitting .292 on the season. He's got 14 hits, 10 runs. Drake, like we mentioned last night on the broadcast, had quite a few accolades from the Gulf South Conference and National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association last week. He had a phenomenal week in their series, of course. They were coming off of a win. Going into last night, they were able to break their losing skid. But, so Cole Drake had the weekly honors. He led the conference in RBIs with 9, collected 7 hits, including 6 for extra bases last week, scored 7 times, pair of 4 RBI efforts, slugged .267, and an on-base percentage of .500. Very impressive week he held last week. And that is going to be a strike to him. He was ready to make his way over to first base on another walk. He assumed that they had a free one, but not today. Grant Ross having 6 walks so far on the season. Last night, Drake had a single in that game. Did well again in the first one today, and that's going to be launched out towards right field. Underneath it is Carson Chavies. He only has to run over a few. He's got it, hauls it in for the second out of the inning, and Drake is retired here as we are 2 away. It's going to bring up Sides. Wesley Sides, a designated hitter. We saw him DH last night. He did not start in the first game today, so he had the morning off, but no longer anymore. Sides, the sophomore, hitting .114. This is going to be his 16th game of the season. He got his 10th start last night. He entered this series 4 hits, 1 run. Last night in the game, in the second inning, he popped out in the 4th inning. He doubled, came around to score, and then he walked in the 8th inning, going 1 for 3, grounded out in the 6th inning. A pretty well-rounded day, but it was that 4th inning where the Choctaw really jumped out last night, took the 5-1 lead before the Bulldogs were able to climb back in it late in the 6th and 7th innings. But the runner's going on that one, and it's not going to matter as that is fouled back here towards the press booth here at the Fez. Here's a delivery right down the left field line. Out of reach for Sisk there. That's going to be a foul ball. Grant Ross, freshman. Gotten to see him come in relief quite a few times throughout the season. Not too many starts. This is only his second of the season. So it's going to be interesting to see what he has for longevity. But he is going to get sides going down on strikes. So he gets a strikeout, but not before the massive 2-run shot by Rollins. His second home run of the day. It puts the Choctaw up by 2. We'll see you here in the bottom of the first inning.
Are you looking for a Christian college or are starting the college search process? I want to take a second to tell you about my school, Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. Union is a private 4-year university known for its rigorous academics, Christ-centered community, and the success of its graduates. My favorite part about Union is the faculty. The professors here are so intentional about helping students grow not only academically, but also spiritually. You should check out Union for yourself. Come for a visit. I know you'll love it. At Union University, you'll be transformed.
We are just about 8 minutes into this one, and the Bulldogs already find themselves down by 2. It is 2-0 here in Jackson after the 2-run shot by Rollins to kick off the top of the first inning. Here's the starting lineup for the Bulldogs, pretty similar to the one we saw in the first game of the series. Batting first, we have the shortstop, Brett Netterville. Batting second, the second baseman, Alec Hardy. Batting third, the right fielder, Carson Chavies. Batting cleanup today and playing third base, we have Mitch Sisk. Batting fifth, we have the left fielder, Grayson Swanson. Batting sixth, the first baseman, Blake Barrett. Batting seventh, and pitching today, we have Grant Ross. Batting eighth, the center fielder, Colby Davis. And batting ninth, the catcher, Canyon Pace. We saw Canyon, of course, start last night's game. Today, in the first game, we saw Caden Cottrell behind the plate, but we're back to Canyon Pace. On the mound today for the Choctaw, we have the 6'2", 200-pound sophomore Gavin LeBlanc out of Morse, Louisiana. Graduated from Iota High School, where he was the 2021 All-District pitcher and district MVP. He's a 2021 Louisiana Baseball Coaches Association first-team All-State as well as All-Regional. Last year, he did play with the Choctaws in his freshman season. He finished second on the team in wins, third in strikeouts, and third in starts. He made 14 appearances with 8 starts. Now, he's struggling a little bit more this season, but the numbers are not quite as reflective as you would guess. So he's got the 8.03 ERA. He's got 7 losses, no wins, but he has appeared in 10 games. He started 9 of them. He's thrown 40 in the third innings. He's given up 64 hits, 40 runs. He's walked 21, so that's going to be the number that he's going to want to keep down today. He has the very impressive 36 strikeouts. So about every other inning that he is in, actually about every inning, he has at least a strikeout. So strikeout numbers high, but so are the walks. He has 4 hit batters on the season, and he is up against Britt Netterville here for the first one of this inning as he jumps out to a 1-2 count. Netterville was tearing it up earlier today. He had the triple in the first game, and he's going to take the next one just outside over the plate. He went 2 for 3, scored 3 runs, walked, struck out, and that one last night during the game, Netterville was unable to get anything done. He went 0 for 5, but not today. He gets it started here with a single on the left side right under the glove of the third baseman, LaRocca. LaRocca making his series debut here over there at third base, and Netterville gets on with a leadoff single to get things started. Netterville last night, the only guy not to get really a hit or many situations. He did reach on an error in the 4th inning last night, but man, today he has had quite the game. He went 2 for 3. Now he's already 1 for 1 as Alec Hardy makes his way to the plate. Alec earlier today went 0 for 4, did have an RBI on his walk, and then he struck out once. Last night he got things started early. He walked, came around to score the first run of the Bulldogs. 6 runs yesterday in the first inning. He struck out in the 3rd inning, had a single, was left stranded in the 5th, and then he had that solo shot to tie the game. That was one of the hero moments for the Bulldogs in that 6th inning. He hit it right off the scoreboard. The question was if it was a ground rule double or if it was a home run, and as Netterville takes off to second base, Alec Hardy fouls it back into the netting. That was one of the questions last night is Hardy lifted it up and he was full sprinting. He hit second base and the umpire told him, hey, you got the home run. The solo shot was the one that tied the game and was ultimately one of the deciding factors in the Bulldogs' walk-off win last night. He's going to put that one in play. It looks like it's going to be in the gap. It is. It's going to go out towards right field. That's J.T. Vance hauling it in on the ground. And a back-to-back pair of singles here for the Bulldogs is going to put Hardy on first, Netterville on second, with Carson Chavies up to the plate next. So they found the left side gap. They found the gap between LaRocca and Alcantara. And then on the right side, Hardy found the hole between Thomas and Reese. So now we'll see what hole Chavis is looking for, possibly something on the left side. We do see the third baseman, LaRocca, playing closer in on the grass, anticipating a ground ball here from Chavis. So far in this game, LeBlanc has kept everything pretty low in the zone. We'll see if he continues to do the same thing here against Chavis, who shows bunt. He does. He drops it right down the third base line. They're going to be a throw over to first. They're going to get the runner at first, but that is going to do exactly what it was supposed to. Move the runners over. A little sacrifice bunt there to Chavis. Is going to be the first out of the inning, but Hardy moves over to third, Netterville in second, and now we have both the tying run in scoring position as well as the winning run at the plate in Mitch Sisk. Mitch Sisk, always a consistent factor in the Bulldog offense. Earlier today, he went 1 for 5, scored an RBI. He did strike out twice. Not as good as his day yesterday as he swings right through that one. Now, last night he reached 4 times. The first inning he reached on a fielder's choice, was left stranded at third. In the third inning he walked and then was left on third, singled, came around to score in the 5th, flew out in the 6th inning, and it was that 9th inning walk. They loaded the bases in the game where Simmons came in, loaded him up, and Blake Barrett drove him home. He came sliding across home plate in an image the Bulldog fans will quickly not forget. Lots of celebration and a lot of excitement for this program. Coach Casey, after the game, was talking to our SID, Stephen Aldridge, very excited in the post-game interview. He said a lot of these big moments that the Bulldogs have been waiting for. It finally felt like a payoff game, payoff victory last night. A lot of excitement. He pointed directly to a very crucial at-bat we mentioned a lot on the broadcast last night, where Poindexter was over 130 pitches. He was up against the catcher Kirsch, and Kirsch ended up going 12 pitches in that at-bat, fouling him off, and Poindexter was able to work out of it. The Bulldogs stayed wise at the plate, watched their pitches very carefully, and ended up walking it off. But man, it was a different story this afternoon. So Bulldogs really trying to make sure the Choctaw got all those runs out in the first one of the doubleheader today. And hopefully they're able to really lock it down the rest of the game. So from the stretch, here's the pitch. It's going to be right down the left line towards the dugout. So last season with the Choctaw, LeBlanc had an 8.42 ERA, had 2 wins, 4 losses. He started 8 games and 14 appearances, 41 innings. It's going to be right off the hands over the dugout. So this season, actually, he is a little bit higher. He's got a 13.5 ERA, according to the online statistician. He's giving up those 11 hits. So here's the load up here, and that's going to be popped right back to us. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count here to Mitch Sisk. Sisk so far this season. Of course, he graduated from Trinity Christian Academy here in Jackson. Went and spent a couple of years at Jackson State Community College before joining this Bulldog team. And he's going to send that right through the legs of the third baseman. It's going to bring home 1 run as LaRocca dribbles it off of his glove right through the wickets. So that's going to put Sisk on first. 1 run is going to come home. That was Alec Hardy. And we'll see how they credit that as an error, but an exciting break here for the Bulldogs. And that was something that Coach Casey also mentioned after the game. He said, we got to really focus less on hitting pop flies and hard hit balls and keep things on the ground and force the infielders to make the big plays. We saw it last night as they continued to pound the left side. And we did see the third base and especially at shortstop Alcantara have a few go into the field. And so if they can keep these hard hit balls on the ground, they have a much higher shot of a possible error, finding the gap, continuing to load the bases, and worrying less about the home run. The home run ball was the key factor in the Bulldogs offense last season, especially those doubles by Frierson. We saw quite a few of, a couple triples last year. Bezoin was one of the guys last year that was constantly hitting it out of the ballpark. Swanson had quite a few more home runs last year, but they were really focused on just hitting through it, hit a line drive, keep things on the ground, and make the defense do the big plays. So we got Sisk over there at first. Netterville is now, Sisk is now at second base. Netterville is now at third, so Hardy came home on that. Chavy's had the sack bunt, and the Bulldogs offense has been doing exactly what they wanted to do. They did credit the play there by Sisk as an error, so the error goes to LaRocca, the third baseman, and Sisk is not given the single, but Grayson Swanson is the man of the hour at the plate. Swanson in the game earlier today went 2 for 5, scored a run, struck out twice, stole a base as well. Well-rounded game for him for sure. And here's a delivery. Swung on and missed. So Swanson goes down swinging, but the Bulldogs still have another chance here in Blake Barrett, who was absolutely on fire already today. So Barrett last night, 3 for 5. He had the single that ended up winning the game in that one. Here's a delivery to him, just in there for a called strike. So Barrett had the single in the 9th inning. Of course, that was the big moment, but he also had another few great at-bats. He had the RBI single in the 5th inning, as well as the single where he was thrown out at the plate in the 4th inning. Flew out and nails that one right off of the hands. Earlier in the first game, he had just as good of a day. Went 2 for 4, scored 2 runs. He had the RBI. He's had a really well-rounded day. Struck out once in the second game. But Barrett has really gotten his bat hot here later in the season. They've utilized him back and forth between the DH role and first base. And that one's going to be just reach for and foul. Really wanted a piece of that one, going a little bit higher in the zone than he typically does. But when Barrett is able to keep things on the ground, force them to make the throw, he's had a couple good little bloopers. Something that we saw the Choctaw pitchers do was throw inside time and time again, and Barrett was able to just get it barely a piece of it, plop it out into shallow right field a few times, and just leg it to first, take the single, and move them around the bases. Time and time again last night. Decent amount of fans here at Fesmeyer Field on this Easter Saturday. We had a good crowd last night on Good Friday for the game. Most excited I've seen the fans all year, and that's going to be clubbed out towards left field, going down. No, it's going to be a one-hop. One run's going to score. The game is tied. Here's going for the leading run. The Bulldogs get it, and it's going to be a 2 RBI single for Blake Barrett. Sisk comes home. Netterville comes home, and the Bulldogs have regained the lead here with 2 outs, something we saw them do time and time again yesterday. Aside from the very final play of the game, the Bulldogs scored all of their runs last night with 2 outs. The rally continues here today, and the Bulldogs now are up and have the lead in this game. So Sisk came home. He scored from second base. Quickly waved around by the third base coach for the Bulldogs. Netterville came home on that one as well. And Barrett just continues to have an unbelievable weekend at the plate. He wants to play Mississippi College every week here as Ross is now up to the plate. Grant Ross doing a little bit of everything today. We'll see if he continues here on the mound. So he's the starting pitcher for the Bulldogs. He's also hitting today. Once he comes out of the game, we expect him to move into the DH role because currently in the roster he is DH/pitcher. So they have the flexibility to continue using him even if he's done on the mound. So Ross finds himself down in the count already, and he's going to take that one outside check swing. They're going to appeal. And they said he does not. The catcher appealed to third base, and there was not an umpire there, but, he figured it out eventually. Ross earlier today went 1 for 4, scored a run, had a walk, a strikeout, left one on base. And here's a delivery to him. Big swing and a miss. So the movement here of LeBlanc is able to get Ross down on strikes, but the Bulldogs put 3 up. Sisk scores, Netterville scores, Hardy scores, and it's the 2 RBI single for Barrett that gives the Bulldogs the lead. We go to the top of the second. Bulldogs up by 1. Remember, we're only going 7 innings in this one. We'll be right back with you here in a few minutes.
Are you looking to build a career? Build a career with West Tennessee's own H&M Company. H&M is a leading coast-to-coast industrial design and construction firm for Fortune 500 companies. Founded in Milan in 1957 and headquartered in Jackson, H&M is actively hiring in all areas of construction and engineering. Visit us at hmcompany.com to start building your career today.
Kicking off this second inning here for the Choctaw, we have the catcher, Bo Kirsch, up to the plate. Get things started. Grant Ross remains on in the first inning. He threw 1 inning, 24 pitches. He gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 strikeouts, and faced 6 batters in that one. So he's back in the windup. Here's his first pitch. Just a little bit low. Kirsch, the sophomore, hitting .242 so far this season. Has 15 hits, 7 runs, 62 at-bats. Has a double, 4 RBIs on the season. He did not play in the second game, of course, behind the dish. We saw McWilliams in the second game, but Kirsch did start the game last night. Did well defensively for the Choctaw. He's going to let that one from Ross slip just outside of the plate. Kirsch last night reached on an error in the 4th inning, unable to get anything done the rest of the day. He grounded out in the 2nd inning, flew out to right field in the 6th, and had the little dribbler in the 8th inning. He was the one that battled Poindexter for 12 pitches, fought and fouled them all off, and then eventually had the little dribbler right back to Poindexter with 2 on, left him stranded, and the Bulldogs eventually locked it down in the 9th inning, got the win, and it really came down to that at-bat against Kirsch as the defining moment in the game. That's popped up right on the right side, just out of reach of the first baseman. Blake Barrett over there. Hardy was charging over just as quickly, and the count goes full here to the Choctaw catcher. So Ross now really outside on the rubber. We see his foot about right on the edge of the rubber. Big extension, just barely holding on. Really chokes it up inside here on Kirsch. Gets it in on the hands, fouls it off to the left. But Ross setting up with his left back heel barely touching the rubber. Really positioning himself on the majority of the left side of the mound. And another foul off by Kirsch here. Seems like Kirsch can continue to work the pitch count, but unable to get anything in fair play other than a few groundouts last night. Every at-bat we saw him seem to take it full. And it's no exception again. Here's a delivery. It's going to be put right in the gap. He has his first hit of the weekend. It's going to go out towards Carson Chavies. And a 9-pitch at-bat continues to weigh the pitch count here as Kirsch is the first one on here in the top of the 2nd inning. So Kirsch now over at first base. We're going to see LaRocca get his first at-bat of the weekend.
Now batting the third baseman, number 7, Bryce LaRocca.
LaRocca actually came in, pinch ran a couple times. He came on a relief of McWhorter, who started the second game. And that is going to be in there, called Stierreich. Bryce LaRocca played at Louisiana State University, prepped at Barb High School, garnered all district honors during his time in high school. Takes that one in on the hands, and that's going to get away from the catcher, Canyon Pace, and ripping off a free bag there is the catcher, Kirsch, as he makes his way to second base. So far on the season, we've seen LaRocca play, and now this is his 25th game. He has 21 starts. He's got 11 hits, 10 runs, 68 at-bats, 2 doubles, 1 home run, 12 RBIs. One of the RBI leaders, even though he is not an everyday player for the Choctaw. He's got a significant amount of line drive hits throughout the season, finding the gaps just like Kirsch did. Here's a delivery to him. Just over. Good framing there by Canyon Pace to slip that one back in the zone, attempting to get the call, but he is unable to. This game going relatively slow. We've had quite a few hits. 5 runs already put up in the first inning at the 30-minute mark already. Last night's game was moving quickly until towards the end, but it was this afternoon's game that went about 3 hours and 30 minutes. 17-8 victory went to the Choctaw. Made for a long afternoon for Bulldog fans there in the 8th and 9th innings. So here's a delivery from Ross. in on the hands. He walks. No, he strikes him. So what we thought was a walk. Leaning into that one, LaRocca was pretty sure he got away with a walk on that. Threw the bat, had to go pick it up. Always an embarrassing thing, but you can only sell it so much. But the count goes full. Great pitch placement there by Grant Ross. A little bit off speed, and here is the count full. No, he's going to throw it back. Check the runner in Kirsch. Alec Hardy is the second baseman out there. Making sure that Kirsch only takes a couple steps. Hardy playing very close to the bag, giving the signal now to his catcher Kenyon Pace, with the expectation that LaRocca will hit something on the left side. Here's the full count. It's going to be out towards center field. Dropping back is going to be Colby Davis. He's got it. He's going to have to make a throw to third. Here's the throw from Netterville. It's going to be just a little bit late, and tagging up will be Kirsch. He makes his way to third base, and LaRocca is now out on the flyout. Colby Davis, not the cannon that we usually see out there in center field. Netterville didn't really get that one in as fast as they could have, especially on a shallow play to center field. Very risky there, but Kirsch made the right decision. Tried to test the Union arms, got away with it. And now we see Alcantara up for the first time today. He's played in the 9-hole in each of the 2 games of this series so far. Alcantara went 2 for 3 in the second game of the series. The first game of the doubleheader today, scored 3 runs, 3 RBIs. He was second in RBIs behind Rollins, of course, who had the grand slam late in the game. Alcantara walked twice, struck out once, and was a consistent factor on the base path for the Choctaw earlier today. Alcantara last night went 0 for 3. Scored once. After reaching on an error in the third, he grounded out into the double play in the 4th inning, grounded out in the 7th inning, and walked in the 9th inning before getting left stranded at second base. So far this season, he's played in 18 games, has 10 hits, 12 runs, 3 doubles, 2 home runs. So those 5 extra base hits give him a total of 9 RBIs. And that's going to slip outside the zone. Pace is going to challenge over there at third base. Kirsch just stepping back in time to make sure he didn't get picked off the bases. Ross now from the stretch, still on that side of the rubber, and he's going to slip that one right inside for a walk. Pretty similar placement to where that called strike was against Kirsch, or LaRocca, excuse me. So that's going to be the first walk given up here of the game by Grant Ross. So first and third situation, Kenyon Pace is going to come out, give Alec the rundown of what is going to happen out there between the middle infielders. We're going to see Netterville come a little bit closer to the bag. He's going to give it. No, he is going to be the man who takes it in the possibility. And a terrible bunt attempt there. It pops it over the first base side. That one went about 400 feet up in the air, it seemed, by the leadoff hitter Thomas. Thomas had the single, came around to score in the first inning on the home run by Rollins. And now with the first and third, his job is just to get something in play, trying to get the runner home. And he's not going to attempt another bunt, but he is going to take it right to the shoulder for the second hit by pitch of the game. And the bases are juiced, not the guy you want up with loaded bases, as we're going to see Rollins up to the plate. So Kirsch is now at third, Alcantara at second, Thomas at first on the hit by pitch. And we're going to see Rollins. He already had the home run earlier in this game. He had the 2-run shot to get things started in the first inning, and he had the grand slam, and it seems like deja vu here for Bulldog fans. Rollins hit the grand slam over the right field wall in the 9th inning earlier in the first game of this doubleheader, and he's got bases loaded again for him. Bulldogs looking to keep something low in the zone, force a ground ball, maybe a line drive, just keep it out of the air for Rollins. Exactly what he does. He's able to foul that one back, but if I'm Ross, I'm throwing everything low in the zone. Make him club something if he has the power. The wind is going southwest this afternoon. It's going to be interesting here to see what Ross is able to cook up. Kenyon Pace, catcher caller back behind the dish, sets up outside, trying to make sure that they don't leave one over the plate for Rollins. And there's going to be a pickoff attempt. Ooh, almost got him over there at first base. That's Thomas that almost got sniped by Blake Barrett. Great tag applied, great throw. But Thomas able to just get underneath that. But you got to throw stuff away, and you got to keep stuff low in the zone here against Rollins, or he will put up quite a few RBIs. Rollins in the first game was a devastating impact. We didn't see him play last night, but he was pretty much a lock in the lineup in the second game after the grand slam earlier today. Rollins had two hits, 4 at-bats, scored 2 runs, 6 RBIs put up. That added to the 21 he came into today with. It was his 10th home run, and he made it 11 and takes the next one in there with an off-speed strike. Great pitch there by Grant Ross, throwing it off a little bit. But Rollins so far this season, he has 28 hits, 25 runs, 5 doubles, a triple, and now 11 home runs so far this season. And here is the delivery to him. He's going to take it upstairs for ball 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Rollins. Rollins has the slugging percentage of .569. He's walked 24 times. He'll take anything he can get. And here's a delivery to him. A little off speed. Almost gets a piece of him. That would have been dangerous there. Don't want to walk in a run. Don't want to hit a run in. But anything is better than a grand slam. That would be a worst case scenario situation. So forcing Grant Ross to throw him something. Here now the count is full. Must give him a strike. Not what you want. And it's going to be just low in the zone. The runners weren't even confident in that one. What looked like strike. I would have swung that all day long. And that was just barely low apparently. They're having a conversation between the third base dugout. Ethan Orwig with his hat off, clearly frustrated. He knows how it feels, unable to get quite a few calls late in the second game. Coach Casey shaking his head there, and I do not know what that one was about, man. Well, the game is tied on the walk with bases loaded. Trying to get something low here, trying to get a roll-em-up double play. But Thomas is now at second. Kirsch came home to score on that one. Alcantara now at third. And Rollins, man, over there at first base. On the walk, that's going to be dropped back. Swanson barely finding that one in his glove in left field. The runner is going to tag. Alcantara is coming home. And a sacrifice fly is going to take the lead here in the second inning. High-scoring game already. We've seen runs all weekend long. So Thomas stays at second. Rollins at first. And now, of course, the sac fly. I'm not sure what the read on that there was by Swanson. He ran back and had to make a jumping play out there in left field, but glad he was able to haul that one in. And we're going to see Vance come up, and that's going to be a line drive out and towards left field. Grabbing it is Swanson. 1 run's coming home. Here's the play at third. They're going to tag him. They're going to say he's safe. Mitch Sisk unsure of that one. Safe at third base is Rollins, and Coach Casey is livid on that call. It looked like that throw beat him all day long. I do not feel confident in that. And Coach Casey is going to give the third base umpire an earful out there. The trainer is going to come out, check on his runner. No, he's going to grab the gloves. But Coach Casey, very frustrated that this inning is not over. And they're going to have a 5-3 lead. Umpire is going to send him back to the dugout. And a very tough break here once again by the officiating crew. And there's not much you can do to overturn that one. The Bulldogs get a tough break. It wasn't clear or convincing, apparently. So now we see Vance out in second base, and it's going to be a little dribbler right back. So Thomas came home to score on that. Rollins goes all the way to third. They're going to say it's a double for Vance unless it was an advancement on the throw. Yes, they do. So they're going to say that Vance got the single and advanced on the throw. And it's going to bring up Drake here to be the 8th hitter of the inning. So Thomas has scored, Kirsch has scored, Alcantara has scored, and there's 2 outs, man on second for Drake. Drake flew out to right field in the first inning for the second out of the inning, and that's going to be a big swing and a whiff through that one. So Ross from the stretch sees his 2 runners in scoring position. He's given up 5 in this game. All of them have been earned. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. He's at 54 pitches, and here's a delivery just outside. 2 outs here to Drake. Drake came into this game hitting .292, 14 hits, 10 runs, 48 at-bats, 15 RBIs. Last night, Drake had the single, came around to score. Earlier today, he went 1 for 5. A tough break for the Bulldogs gives the Choctaw the lead. They're going to have some work here in the bottom of the second inning. Just like they did in the first inning, they responded well. We'll see if they can do it again. Here's a pitch from Ross. The off-speed swung on and missed. He got him. They strand 2, but the Choctaw put up 3. Controversial call at third base is the one that makes the deciding factor. Bulldogs down by 2, and that was going to be 2 hits, 3 runs, no errors. To the bottom of the second we go here in Jackson. Bulldogs down by 2. It's the weekend debut here for Colby Davis, the center fielder for the Bulldogs. He's going to get his first plate attempt of the weekend. The Lady Bulldogs just fell behind us. They won the game last night, lost both of them this afternoon. They lost 11-8, and that is going to be right back to the pitcher. Blanc takes it, throws it over to Reese, and a 1-3 put out quickly puts out Davis. Well, now it's time for Canyon Pace, the second-generation Union baseball player. Freshman hitting .133. We got to see him behind the plate last night. He had the off game earlier today. We saw Caden Cottrell behind the dish, but last night Pace grounded out to third base in the second inning. He struck out swinging in the fourth, flew out to right field in the flew to right field in the fifth, and then late in the game he singled. Canyon Pace is going to be the first runner on this single right up the middle. So a great play there by Canyon. And the Bulldogs have their first runner as they look to erase the 3 runs put up by the Choctaw as we go back to the top of the lineup in Britt Netterville. Netterville got the whole game started with the single, came around to score on the hit by Mitch Sisk, or actually reached on air by Mitch Sisk. So in the first inning, we saw Netterville single, and Hardy singled. Chavies had a sacrifice bunt to move him over. Sisk reached on the error, and then it was the 2 RBI single by Blake Barrett that took the lead for the Bulldogs. And here's a delivery. It's going to be just in there for a strike. So Netterville looking to continue what he started in the first one. Last night he went 0 for 4, reached on an error. And then earlier today, he went 2 for 3, having a much better Saturday, and that's going to get down. It's going to land. Yes, it's going to get under the glove of the left fielder, Drake. Drake is now laying on the ground in sadness as Rollins hauls it in, and it's going to be a double for Britt Netterville, his second hit of the game. Pace is going to go to third. And a diving attempt by Drake is going to give up an extra base. Interesting to see, had he taken it, if he would have just taken a one-hopper out there in left field, it probably would have held him to first and second base, but he decided to try to be the hero. He was not. And it's going to let Netterville get on, and it's going to bring up Alec Hardy, the second baseman here, with 2 runners in scoring position. So Netterville with the double, Pace with the single, and now Alec Hardy who singled, and that's going to be right past the glove of the third baseman LaRocca. 1 run's going to score. Here comes Netterville, the throw to the plate. They're going to cut it off, and Netterville's going to score. Hardy has the 2 RBI single, and the Bulldogs are right back in it. The game is tied at 5 apiece, and Hardy rips the first one he sees right under the third baseman's glove, and the bases are cleaned up here. Pace comes home. Netterville aggressively made it from second to home just on that little dribbler out to shallow left field, and the Bulldog strategy of keeping things out of the air continues to work again today, and Netterville had the double, Pace had the single, Hardy had the single, and now it's Carson Chavies. So 1 out here to Carson Chavies. Chavies had the sacrifice bunt. He was able to drop that on the third base side in the first inning, moving over Hardy and Netterville. And they're going to let him swing here, and he's going to swing right through that one. There's going to be a throw at second base, and it looks like they're going to say Hardy is out. So even though there was a close play at third base early in the game, that tie did not go to the runner, and they're going to say that Thomas applied the tag just in time to eliminate Hardy for the second out of the inning. Of the inning. So Carson Chavies still at the plate, now with no runners on. Here's the delivery. They're going to say it's ball 2. So, having a conversation there. You see the second baseman, Thomas, frustrated. He throws his hands up as a what just happened to the first base umpire. We're going to take a quick pause here between pitches. As Thomas, not sure what he's frustrated about. He got the call in his favor. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Game is tied, 5 runs apiece. The Choctaw have 5 runs on 4 hits, 1 error. The Bulldogs have 5 runs on 6 hits, no errors. That goes right off of the leg of Chavies. They're going to call it a dead ball. Now Thomas is going to walk out towards right field. He just continues to look frustrated over there at second base. He is back and forth with the first base umpire. Umpire keeps giving him signals. Second baseman keeps having gestures at the first base umpire. And here's the pitch. It's going to be strike 3. In the dirt, Kirsch gets away from it, and it's going to be a drop third strike out. To the top of the third inning we go, but not before the Bulldogs get right back into this one. Alec Hardy has the 2 RBI single. We'll be right back with you. Tie game, top of the third inning, here in a few brief moments.
The most important benefit when you buy from Jones Chevrolet at Three-Way? Peace of mind. Jones Chevrolet's warranty forever comes with every qualifying new and pre-owned vehicle. Powertrain coverage for as long as you own your vehicle. Find out more at Jones Chevrolet in Three-Way.
Wesley Sides is going to be the leadoff hitter here in the top of the third. The designated hitter was the only batter for the Choctaw to not hit in the second inning. He struck out swinging in the top of the first. Delivery from Ross, just a little low and outside. So a little recap of the second inning. Kirsch started off with a single, came around to score. And LaRocca flew out to center field. Alcantara walked, came around to score. Thomas was hit by a pitch, scored. Rollins was left stranded at third. Then on the sacrifice fly by Reese, Vance singled, was left at second. And Drake struck out swinging to end the inning.
Now batting the catcher, number 9, William Kirsch.
Kirsch now the hitter, singled, came around to score. He was the man that got things started for the Choctaw in the second inning. Looking to do the same thing here in the third. And that's going to be just inside to it. Kirsch, the sophomore, hitting .242. 15 hits on the season, 62 at-bats, 7 runs scored. Bo Kirsch also went to Louisiana State University before transferring to Mississippi College. One of a few guys, and that's going to be hit right back to the pitcher. Grabbing it is Grant Ross. He throws it over to first to Barrett, and it's going to be a 1-3 putout and a quick and easy out for the Bulldogs. They face LaRocca for the second time today. LaRocca in the second inning flew out to center field. 11 hits, 10 runs on the season. LaRocca's hitting 364 and launches that one out towards left field. Going back at the track is Swanson. He's running out of room. It's off the wall. Swanson's unable to get it. He's going to pick it up on the ground and hold him to a double. But a stand-up double here for LaRocca with 2 outs. He's going to put a runner in scoring position for the Choctaw. And hopefully a little rally from what they are hoping for. So it's going to bring up Alcantara. He's been a threat all weekend long. Had a walk, came around to score in the second inning. Alcantara went 2 for 3 in the first game of the doubleheader today. He scored 3 runs, had 3 RBIs. Walked twice, struck out once. He went 0 for 3 last night, but did reach on the air, came around to score. And he, getting his second plate appearance already here early in this game, pops that one off the hands over the first base dugout. Alcantara winding back up out there at second base is LaRocca after the double. Alec Hardy, the second baseman, is the one who's holding him with a pull hitter such as Alcantara. Lots of movement on that one there by Ross. Great off-speed pitch. It's an interesting day when we have 2 lefties on the mound. See how that factors. We've seen LeBlanc have a ton of motion on a lot of his pitches, consistent off speeds. Grant Ross has done something similar. He's throwing quite a few more fastballs than his opposition. Still keeps the ball moving, trying to throw off these right-handed hitters. There's only 1 switch hitter in the entire lineup for Mississippi College. And here is the delivery from Ross. Just outside, good framing there by Canyon Pace to try to slip that one back in the zone. Unable to get the call. So 3-1 the count here. Alcantara, 2 outs. Bulldogs trying to get their first clean inning of the game so far. 2-out rallies have been dangerous all weekend long, and that's going to be outside. So the blessing is they set up the force out, but unfortunately it is another walk, the second of the game by Ross. We're going to go to the bullpen for the first time. That's going to be it for Grant Ross. He will remain as the designated hitter, and we are going to see the Bulldogs use some relief pitching for the first time in this game. We'll be right back with you here in a few brief moments.
Are you looking to build a career? Build a career with West Tennessee's own H&M Company. H&M is a leading coast-to-coast industrial design and construction firm for Fortune 500 companies. Founded in Milan in 1957 and headquartered in Jackson, H&M is actively hiring in all areas of construction and engineering. Visit us at hmcompany.com to start building your career today.
Bulldogs go to their bullpen for the first time in this game. That's going to do it for Grant Ross, who went 2 2/3 innings through 71 pitches, gave up 5 hits, 5 runs, walked 3, struck out 3, and faced 18 batters. We're going to see Dylan Thomas enter into the game. He's got, so far this season, he's got a 9.45 ERA, but he has been a consistent man out of the bullpen, especially to come in, get 1 out, 2 outs. Typically, he is quickly in the game and quickly out. So against Lane College, shorter Arkansas Tech, he went 1/3 of an inning. Same thing against West Georgia. He usually comes into a couple of clutch situations. He hasn't gone more than 1 inning this season, but he comes in, gets the final out, and does exactly what the Bulldogs need to do. So hopefully he can do the same thing again today as he throws that one to Thomas right over the plate. So far this season, he's got 1 win, no losses. He's appeared in 12 games, only throwing 6 2/3 innings. He's given up 10 hits, 11 runs. He's walked 5 and struck out 3. It's really been the extra base hits that have really plagued him so far this season. The 2 home runs, 2 triples, and 1 double given up in the 36 batters he has faced. But consistently, towards the beginning of the season a lot, he would come in, get the job done, slam the door, and leave just as quickly. So he did not give up a run in his first 7 appearances this season. The last couple games he has really struggled. Gave up 4 hits against Harding on March 7th. Our Montgomery hit 2 off of him, scored 3 runs. Harding scored 3 runs. And really hoping to avoid that today. hoping he can just come in, put a ball on the ground, and get out of the inning. That's his job, and let's see if he can do it here from the stretch. It's going to be in there for a strike. Frustrated there is Thomas. He swings after the fact, and we'll see if they are able to finish off Thomas here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on. We got LaRocca and Alcantara out there at second and first base. Infield playing middle of the dirt, and here's the delivery from Thomas. Runner goes. There's going to be a play at third. It's going to be sailed out into left field. Swanson's going to have to grab it. 1 run is going to come home, and a wild throw by Canyon Pace is going to be over the glove of Mitch Sisk. The Choctaw take the lead in a very difficult fashion, and a stolen base attempt turns into a run here in the 3rd inning. So LaRocca was just trying to get 1. He gets 2 for free. Alcantara makes his way to second base. And a difficult situation here with a full count is popped back over the press booth. So that is going to be a situation here that we're going to look back at later in the game if this continues to be a close one. And man, tough break here for the Bulldogs behind the plate. But it is what it is. The Bulldogs must move on. Hardy playing close to second base for a possible pickoff attempt. Netterville out there on the grass at shortstop, and here's the play. It's going to, looks like it's going to either get a piece of him. Yes, it does. So I think that one's going to go down as a hit by pitch, and I think that might be it for Dylan Thomas. He is unable to get the 1 out. We might go back to the bullpen. He looks, and we go back to the bullpen. We'll be right back with you after another pitching change here in Jackson.
The BallGame Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios. With over 750,000 views in 2022, we are where you need to advertise. Please subscribe to our Worthy Road Studios YouTube channel and join the other 4,000 subscribers watching local sports, including Union University, USJ, TCA, Jackson Christian, and Peabody. Our multi-camera broadcasts include slow motion instant replay, on-screen scoreboard and graphics, and professional announcers. Thanks to our sponsors who make it all possible. BallGame Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios, the premier sports broadcast network in West Tennessee.
We are back with you here as Billy Beckham is going to be the new pitcher on the mound. Dylan Thomas only facing 1 batter, unable to get the job done. The 6 pitches that he threw. The wild throw over to third base was really the devastating moment, but Beckham out of Lewis and Clark Community College played 2 years of baseball there, was an all-area all-star game member in 2021, hit .290 with 5 home runs his senior year, 29 runs, 24 RBIs, and was 12 for 12 in stolen bases. Also plays a little bit of outfield for the Bulldogs. So far on the mound this season, he's got a 10.5 ERA. He's pitched in 10 games, no wins, 1 loss. He's thrown 12 innings, given up 15 hits, 15 runs, 6 walks, and that's going to be just over towards the turtle on the first base side. Struck out 4, giving up 5 doubles. Another bullpen pitcher for the Bulldogs, plagued by the extra base hits. He's given up 3 home runs, consistently leaving it up too far up in the zone, and Rollins will be the man that he faces. Rollins has already gotten on base twice today. He had the home run in the first inning, and that's going to be a swing and a miss. Beckham gets the job done. We go to the bottom of the inning. Billy strikes him out, and Bulldogs looking to get back into this game. Every team has scored in every single inning. We'll be right back with you here. Bulldogs 5-6.
Championship DNA. That's what you find at Jones Chevrolet at Three-Way. A full line of new Chevrolets plus West Tennessee's largest used car inventory. State-of-the-art service work and pre-approved auto loans online at JonesChevroletHumboldt.com. Shop with a winner. Jones Chevrolet at Three-Way.
Blanc back on the mound for his 3rd inning of work. So far, the Choctaw have put up a bunch of runs in the top of the inning and blown them in the bottom of the inning. We'll see if LeBlanc can do the same thing here. He's given up 6 hits, 5 runs, struck out 3, and faced 12 batters so far in this one. And his next challenger is going to be the 3rd baseman, Mitch Sisk. He's going to put that one out towards center field. Dropping back is Rollins. Now he's charging in underneath it and is able to haul it in for the first out of the inning and retire Sisk. Time for Grayson Swanson to get his first chance here in the 3rd inning. He struck out swinging in the first against LeBlanc. For the second out of that one, Swanson earlier today went 2 for 5, scored a run, struck out twice, left on base twice. stole a base in the first game of this doubleheader, and he's going to take the first one in there for a called strike. Yesterday, Swanson went 2 for 4, had an RBI. That came in the first inning, actually. He singled in the first inning, was left stranded at second, singled again in the third, struck out in the fifth. Then he reached and was thrown out in the seventh and walked in the ninth. So Swanson grounds out. It's a 6-3 play there. Alcantara to Reese. And now we see Blake Barrett get another attempt on this hot weekend that he has had so far. He has continued to hit these Choctaw pitchers all day long, including in the first inning of this one where he had the single and was left stranded as Grant Ross struck out. But earlier today, he continued to have a phenomenal series. Barrett went 2 for 4 yesterday. He had the RBI single as well as the game-winning walk-off RBI single in the ninth inning to score Mitch Sisk. Here's the pitch to him, fouled to the first base dugout. So, LeBlanc on the mound, pitching from the windup. He's at 50 pitches now. Next delivery is going to be hit to the shortstop. Dropping back, catches it on one leg. Alcantara throws it over to first. A 6-3 put out and a 3-up, 3-down perfect inning for LeBlanc. To the top of the fourth we go, and we'll be right back with you. Bulldogs down by 1.
Number 10, Caleb Reese.
As Caleb Reese gets things started for the Choctaw here in the top of the fourth inning, we get to see Billy Beckham return to the mound. He came in, got the final out of the third inning. Dylan Thomas was brought on to do the job, only faced one batter, and it was a situation at third base where LaRocca went running to third, made his way home after a tough throw by Canyon Pace, the catcher. That was currently the winning run here as the Choctaw are up by 1. So here's the delivery from Beckham right over the middle here to Reese. So far in this game, Reese was hit by a pitch in the first inning, had a sacrifice fly to move over his runners in the second. Yesterday in the game, he had the home run in the first inning, the sac fly in the third inning, walked in the fifth, struck out in the seventh, and flew out to center field in the ninth inning. Big swing and a miss there to take the count full. Reese earlier today in the first game went 2 for 5, scored 2 runs, had a very impressive 4 RBIs, of course, one of those coming late in the game on the solo home run. That's going to hit to Netterville. He's going to throw a bullet across the diamond. Good pick there by Barrett. No, it's going to go towards first base. Barrett has his hat on backwards, not really sure what was going on there as it gets away from the Bulldog first baseman. Not sure if he was adjusting the cap or what was going on there. But a tough break here for the Bulldogs puts Reese on first base. So they're going to say that it is an error by the shortstop on the throw. So that is credited to Netterville, and Reese gets on to start off the inning here. Some tough fielding this weekend by the Bulldogs. They've done well offensively, but it's been their defense that has struggled. Typically, we've seen the opposite. So Vance up to the plate. Vance struck out looking in the first inning, singled and was left stranded in the second inning. Vance in the first game struck out twice, went 0 for 4, flew out towards right field in the 8th inning, grounded out in the first inning. Earlier today, he went 2 for 6, had a run and 2 RBIs. Takes the next one in there for a ball. Now Beckham is going to go home with it and pop it up in the infield. Dropping back towards the triangle. Calling him off is going to be Chavies in right field. Makes the shallow grab away from Alec Hardy. And Vance is retired for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up the cleanup hitter. The 5-hitter Drake. Cole Drake, the sophomore, hitting .292. He's got 14 hits, 10 runs, 48 at-bats, 4 doubles, and 5 long balls on the season. Very impressive home run hitters here in the top of the lineup. Not a guy in the first 5 that doesn't have at least 3 home runs. Got 15 RBIs on the season. He flew out to right field in the first inning, struck out swinging in the second as he goes 1-1 here against Billy Beckham. A little bit more on Billy Beckham. We started to introduce him during the last inning where he came in and got the final out. Played lots of baseball, basketball, well-rounded athlete, a couple years of football as well, golfer. Anything that has the ability to be good at athletically, he's got it. He played 4 years of baseball for the Springfield Arsenal, named the MVP for baseball 3 times, all-conference title as well. Also received a few leadership awards, improved tremendously in basketball, class vice president, graduated with honors, Illinois scholar athlete. Here at Union, he's spending time in the physical therapy department, wants to practice exercise science after he graduates, and he's going to get that one aligned to Mitch Sisk. Gets over to second, over to first base, and they got it. It's a 5-6-3 double play, and the Bulldogs escape a jam here in the top of the 4th. To the bottom we go. Bulldogs down by 1. Choctaw, 6-5 ball game.
Mention BallGame Blitz Sports Network and receive a free gift.
For Union, the DH, number 15, Grant Ross.
Grant Ross now in the DH role after exiting the game as the starting pitcher. He is going to get a crack here at LeBlanc. LeBlanc remains in the game here for his 4th inning. He's thrown 51 pitches, 6 hits, 5 runs, struck out 3 and faced 16 batters. And here is his first to Ross, which is going to be popped out towards right field. It's going to land fair. Let's see if Ross is going to round it. He does. No, he's going to hold up. He made it about halfway to second base. They're going to throw it back over to first. But Ross only has to see 1 pitch to get 1 base. Easy trade there for the Bulldogs. They're at the bottom of their lineup here. We have Ross, Davis, and Pace guaranteed to hit in this inning. And now it looks like Netterville might get a chance as well. So Ross with the single. It's going to be the first hit since the second inning for the Bulldogs. They went 1, 2, 3 in the 3rd. And here is the delivery. There's going to be a runner going. Ross is going to be caught in a pickle. He's in the middle. The throw now to Reese. He's going to tag him. And Ross is eliminated from the base path.
Just realize this is not going to happen.
Not much I have to say on that one.
I don't see that very often, but if you're going to be out by that much, might as well try to make the other team.
Well, now we're back to Davis. He has no runners on this time, and the aggressive base running by the Bulldogs does not work. That's going to be just in the glove of the second baseman, Thomas. He finds that one, pulls it out of the clouds, and another pitch, another out here for the Bulldogs. So Davis lines out. We're going to see Canyon Pace get his crack at it here. He had a single, came around to score in the second inning. Going to make up for the wild throw earlier in the game. Here's a delivery to him. In there, strike 1. Canyon now looking back over to the dugout. After Grant Ross made his way back, didn't really have much to say. He just kind of walked back in. Coach Casey, no comments. The Bulldogs have been aggressive on the bases, but Ross was clearly defeated by about 10 feet by that throw, tried to turn it around, and just realized he had no chance. So, Canyon Pace, wide open stance, takes that one outside, spiking it into the ground is Kirsch. Canyon taking a Couple check swings, infield back. Alcantara and Thomas both on the outfield grass. That's going to be an off speed, and he gets him. That's going to be strike 3 there to Canyon Pace. A 1-2-3 inning back-to-back for the Bulldogs. To the top of the 5th we go. Bulldogs still down by 1. They're not out of it yet.
Are you looking to build a career? Build a career with West Tennessee's own H&M Company. H&M is a leading coast-to-coast industrial design and construction firm for Fortune 500 companies. Founded in Milan in 1957 and headquartered in Jackson, H&M is actively hiring in all areas of construction and engineering. Visit us at hmcompany.com to start building your career today.
The DH, number 34. Wesley Sides.
Wesley Sides is going to get us started here. We have Sides due up, as well as Bo Kirsch and Bryce LaRocca. Here in the top of the 5th inning, Billy Beckham stays on. He's got an inning and a third, thrown 16 pitches, and only had to face 4 batters. That's going to be deep towards left field. Running over is Swanson. It's going to be into the bullpen. One of the Bulldog relievers picking it up, scooping it, and throwing it back here. Wesley Sides so far in this game struck out swinging in the 1st inning and hit a deep shot to center field for a fly out in the 3rd. In last night's game, he hit in the 7-hole, moved up to the 6th today. He grounded, or actually hit a line drive pop out in the 2nd inning last night, had a double, came around to score in the 4th inning, grounded out in the 6th inning, and walked in the 8th inning. So he's going to see Billy Beckham. Beckham looking to have longevity this afternoon. So far this season, the longest that Beckham has pitched is 3 innings. That was on March 11th against Auburn Montgomery, where he gave up 2 hits, 2 runs. So far this season, he's thrown a total of 12 innings. He has a 10.5 ERA. And that's going to be straight up in the infield. Netterville's underneath it. He's going to call off Alec Hardy. He's at the base, and he's got it. Netterville records the pop fly for the first out of the inning. Next up, we're going to see Bo Kirsch, the catcher, get his chance at Billy Beckham. Has not faced Beckham yet in the game. He grounded out to the pitcher in the 3rd inning, had a single, and came around to score in the 2nd. And that one is going to be picked there by Netterville, thrown across the diamond, and a great play there by the Bulldog shortstop to grab that one right in front of the glove. 1 hopper, 1 pitch, 1 out, uncharacteristic of Kirsch, who has had 9 pitch at-bats, 10 pitch at-bats, and that one there is going to be sniped up by Netterville for a 6-3 putout to bring up LaRocca. Bryce LaRocca flew out to center field in the 2nd inning, doubled, came around to score. He was the last Choctaw to score to give that lead over to Mississippi College. In that 3rd inning, he was out there on second base, attempted to steal 3rd when Kenyon Pace sent it sailing out into left field. He came around to score on the wild throw. And here's the pitch to him. Great off-speed there by Billy Beckham. LaRocca does not take a rip at that one. Took a little check swing on it. There's a good pitch right through the middle of the zone. See if Beckham can do the same thing, pitching from the stretch instead of the windup. Pop right back here towards the press booth, over towards the softball side. So Lady Bulldogs got the win yesterday in softball. Ended up losing the series. Got swept today in the doubleheader. They fell 11-1 in the first game, 11-8 in the second game. And the Bulldogs trying to take this series here. They find themselves down by 1. They won the first game last night 6-5 before losing the one today 17-8. It's a 1-run game all the way up until the 8th inning. Things kind of went south for the Bulldogs there. So here's the delivery from Beckham. It's going to be popped up on the left side, sky high. Got a chopper shot on it. Mitch Sisk is going to make his way back over to third base after watching it go over the third base dugout. Left field, we see Swanson way deep back there. Chavy's, of course, playing a little bit more shallow, knowing that there's not a lot of opposite power here by LaRocca. But, man, Swanson is almost to the warning track out there in left field. Something I noticed with the power hitter. It's going to be upstairs, not going to be able to get it. The count is going to go full. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here to LaRocca. LaRocca's got 11 hits on the season, 10 runs, 12 RBIs, and it is going to end with the 4th ball for a free base surrendered to LaRocca. So with the full count, LaRocca goes to first. We have Alcantara up to the dish next. He walked and came around to score in the second inning, walked and was left stranded in the third, looking for another on-base opportunity here in the 5th inning. He's got a .396 slugging percentage and a .310 on-base percentage, and he watches the first one from Beckham slip just outside. Season highs, strikeouts came on April 4th against Lane earlier this week. He also gave no walks, no hits against Lane earlier this week in the inning that he faced. That was at the Ballpark Stadium here in Jackson. Bulldogs got the win in that game 12-5 before entering this series. That's going to be what looks pretty close to the zone, unable to get it. And Alcantara now has 3 balls for the 3rd time today. So 3 balls, no strikes to him. He's got 2 walks, 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd. We'll see if he gets one here in the 5th. No, perfect pitch there by Billy Beckham right down the middle of the pipe. No green light given to Alcantara on that pitch. So the Bulldogs enter this game 11-22 on the season. They're 6-14 in the conference. Mississippi College 12-24 on the season, just 1 game better in the win column than the Bulldogs. They're 7-13 in the conference this year. Blake Barrett able to haul that one in there at first base. And Beckham now with a full count, only needs 1 more strike to get out of the inning. We'll see if he can do it here. And that's going to be hit to Mitch Sisk. He bobbles it over at third base, and both runners are going to get on willy-nilly. So a little loop play there down the third base line is going to move LaRocca to second, Alcantara to first. We'll see how they credit that one in the stat book. That there is going to be considered an error by the third baseman. So Alcantara at first, LaRocca on second, and we are going to go to Evans in the bullpen, it looks like, coming out of. I assume it looks like Ryan Evans, but we're going to find out here in just a moment. We'll be right back with you here in a minute. Bulldogs go to the bullpen once again. That's it for Billy Beckham, who went 2 innings through 34 pitches, walked 1, struck out 1, and faced 8 batters. We're going to see Ryan Evans get his second appearance out of the bullpen in this series. He came in, actually got the win in last night's walk-off game. Came in, pitched the 9th inning to relieve Sam Poindexter. Poindexter, of course, went 8 innings, 135 pitches, and then Ryan came in through 1 inning, only had to throw 22 pitches, struck out 1, walked 1, and faced 4 batters. So far this season, he's got an 8.72 ERA. He's got 3 wins, including the one last night, 3 losses. Appeared in 12 games, started in 6 of them, and he's going to go down to a knee. He slipped off the mound a little bit, and they're going to say it is a balk there as he fell. So the runners, LaRocca is going to go to third, Alcantara now to second. Make sure he's okay on the mound. Typically, we see Evans as a starting pitcher. They've moved him to the bullpen a few times. We expected him to possibly even get the start today, but that did not happen. And here in the third game, Evans throws a ball to the top of the lineup. We got Thomas, Rollins, Reese coming up, but there's 2 outs already. We started the inning off with a line drive catch by Netterville. Actually, a pop fly to Netterville. to sides, and then Kirsch grounded out before a couple walks were issued to both LaRocca and then the error to allow Alcantara to reach. So Thomas, the batter, is going to be popped up in the infield once again. Barrett's underneath at the first baseman. Alec Hardy's going to be the one that takes it at second base, and the Bulldogs escape giving up any run. So a couple runners on. Coming in to get the job done is Ryan Evans. He forces a ball in play, and to the bottom of the 5th inning we go. Choctaw up by 1. See if the Bulldogs can get it right back here in the bottom of the 5th. We'll be right back with you.
Are you looking for a Christian college or starting the college search process? I want to take a second to tell you about my school, Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. Union is a private 4-year university known for its rigorous academics, Christ-centered community, and the success of its graduates. My favorite part about Union is the faculty. The professors here are so intentional about helping students grow not only academically, but also spiritually. You should check out Union for yourself. Come for a visit. I know you'll love it. At Union University, you'll be transformed.
Back to the top of the lineup we go for the Bulldogs. We got Netterville, Hardy, and Chavies coming up to the plate. Netterville already has 2 impressive hits in this game. We'll see if he can keep the bat hot here in the 5th inning. He had the single, came around to score a run in the 1st inning, had the double, came around to score in the 2nd inning, and looking to keep a great day going earlier this afternoon. Netterville went 2 for 3, scored 3 runs, had a walk, and struck out. And he is going to continue to see LeBlanc. LeBlanc in this game has only had to throw 60 pitches in the 4 innings he has recorded. He's given up 7 hits, 5 runs, struck out 4, and faced 18 batters in this one. Netterville entered the game today with 26 hits, added a couple more, added 2 in this one earlier today, added another 2. So 4 more hits today puts Netterville at 30 hits on the season, right behind Carson Chavies. He's currently leading the Bulldogs in hits so far this year. So Netterville's got 2 hits. Then Hardy also has 2 hits. So these are really the guys you want up to the plate. 2-2. Now they've seen LeBlanc a couple times in this game. Ready to see him again. And that's going to be a little off speed. It's going to sneak down the third base line. Grabbing it is LaRocca. Big throw to first, and he makes it a very impressive bullet of a throw. Netterville got a slow start to his run, but a 5-3 ground out is going to end Netterville's 3rd possibility for a hit. Now we've got Alec Hardy, who's also had a really great day. He had a single in the 1st inning, came around to score, and then he had a single in the 2nd inning, but was busted trying to steal second base. So that one's going to get away from the catcher Kirsch, go back towards the backstop, and we're all going to take a breath here. LeBlanc is going to get reset on the mound. Alec Hardy now taking a couple check swings, and here's the pitch to him. Low in the zone. So 2 balls to start the at-bat to Alec Hardy. Hardy has had a good day so far, has 2 hits in this game. Had an RBI in the first one. He's going to launch that one out towards right field. Underneath it is Vance. It could be trouble. No, Vance has it. He lost his hat in the process, but Vance is able to get it on the flyout. And we go to Carson Chavies. Carson Chavies in the 3-hole. The sophomore right fielder had the sacrifice bunt in the 1st inning. Proved very vital in bringing home both Hardy and Netterville. So he had the sac bunt in the 1st inning. Struck out swinging in the 2nd. And the Bulldogs are looking to do what they've done all weekend long, and that is the 2-out rally. Wild off-speed pitch there by LeBlanc. He's had tons of movement on his delivery throughout the game so far. Chavies is going to take that one just a little outside just as well. It looked like a pretty good pitch there. I probably would have taken a hack at it if I was Carson, but that's why Carson plays and I do not. Chavies, the 190-pound sophomore out of Collierville, Tennessee. Played all 4 years of baseball there. Summer ball for the East Coast Sox. Here's a delivery to him. Another one of those off speeds just outside. Carson having some great plate discipline to lay off of that one. He hit .333 last season as a freshman, earned his spot every day in this lineup, and thought he had ball 4. Umpire called it, and then he threw the bat, and the count is going to go full. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here. We actually had the song lined up here for Mitch Sisk. So Chavies is going to have to go back, pick up the bat, and see another pitch. Here it is. It's going to be inside ball 4. So Chavies is going to get on base. And now we get to hear the walk-up song for Mitch Sisk here at Fesmeyer Field. So Chavies gets on with the walk. And once again, the 2-out rally, always a dangerous threat against the Bulldogs. They've put quite a few runs on. Every run scored except for the walk-off last night was on 2 outs, like we mentioned earlier in the game. So Sisk reached on an error in the first inning, came around to score before flying out to center field in the 3rd inning. Sisk has been another one of those guys that's had a really, really good season at the plate. Even when he is on the mound, they decide to keep him in there, similar to what they did with Grant Ross today. Graduated from Trinity just down the road, and then he flies that one over the first base dugout. One of the relief pitchers for Mississippi College trying to haul that one in there over on the right side. Sends it back onto the field. Played 2 years of baseball over at Jackson State Community College. He pitched there and was actually named the Jackson-Madison County Sports Hall of Fame member. And he's going to get a hit out towards left field. Running on that one was Chavies. Chavies was trying to get another free bag, but he didn't even need to. He was trying to get his 15th stolen base of the year, but Sisk got the job done for him. So Sisk has the single. The Bulldogs have 2 on with 2 outs, and we see Grayson Swanson come up to the plate. Refresh the balls behind the plate. Umpire gets a couple new baseballs, puts them in the pocket. It's going to give Grayson Swanson a moment to get settled into the batter box. Grayson in the first inning struck out swinging. He grounded out to shortstop in the 3rd inning, and now is going to get his chance with 2 runners on here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The tying run at 2nd, the winning run at 1st, and that's going to be dropped by the pitcher. It's going to be a little bit of chaos, confusion, and it is going to be the 3rd out of the inning. 2 runners are stranded. LeBlanc drops the ball on the mound on the line drive, but is able to recover as Swanson is retired. We go to the 6th inning. Bulldogs still down by 1. Nobody scored since the top of the 3rd. Lots of runs on the front end, not so many on the back end. We'll be right back with you here in a few brief moments.
The most important benefit when you buy from Jones Chevrolet at 3-Way? Peace of mind. Jones Chevrolet's warranty forever comes with every qualifying new and pre-owned vehicle. Powertrain coverage for as long as you own your vehicle. Find out more at Jones Chevrolet in 3-Way.
We are towards the top of the Choctaw lineup. Up to bat, we're going to have Jordan Rollins, Caleb Reese, and J.T. Vance here in the 6th inning. They're facing Ryan Evans, who came in, shut the door on the Choctaw 2-out rally in the 5th, and here's his first pitch in there to Rollins. Rollins, the switch hitter, is now moved over to the left side. He was on the right side of the plate his last at-bat. The one switch hitter on the Choctaw offense today. He's going to take that one just outside. Rollins had the 2-run home run, of course, had the big grand slam in the first game. Reached to his left stranded in the 2nd inning and struck out swinging in the 3rd. Ryan Evans looking to make quick work here of the Mississippi College first 3, and that one's going to be right through the outside of the zone for strike 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs here to Rollins. Rollins, the .257 average. A very young team here for the Mississippi College Choctaw. It's going to be in the dirt. No seniors playing today. We got Thomas as a sophomore. Rollins is a sophomore. Reese is the veteran and the eldest member of this offense today as a junior. Vance is a sophomore. Drake is a sophomore. Sides is a sophomore. Kirsch is a sophomore. LaRocca is a sophomore. Alcantara is a sophomore. And LeBlanc is a sophomore as well. So an entire second-year team, and they're going to check on Canyon Pace. Alex Hayden, the athletic trainer, is going to make sure that he is okay. They said he's good to get back in there. Might take 1 practice pitch. No, he's good. They said we are ready to go. So they're going to appeal, and they say he is out. So down goes Rollins. They appeal to the 3rd base umpire. He rings him up on strikes. They take it around the horn back to Sisk and back to Evans as Rollins is retired.
Now batting the first baseman, number 10, Caleb Reese.
Caleb Reese, the eldest member of this team, hitting .275 on the season. He has 33 hits, 27 runs, 120 at-bats, 30 RBIs, leads the team in ribbies on the season, has 11 home runs. Got another one earlier today. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning, had a sacrifice fly in the second, and reached on an error in the fourth inning. He pops that one sky high out towards center field. Underneath it is Colby Davis, and he is going to haul it in for the second out of the inning. Reese is retired. We turn it over to the cleanup hitter. That is J.T. Vance, the right fielder for Mississippi College. He struck out looking in the first inning. He had a single but was left stranded at second in the second inning and flew out to right field in the fourth inning. So far this season, he is the leader in average. He's hitting .354. All reliable here on the Choctaw offense. He has 40 hits, 25 runs, 113 at-bats, 9 impressive doubles, as well as 2 triples, leading the team in both doubles and triples. He's third on the team in home runs with 6, and is going to step out for just a brief moment. So we got no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here to Vance. Just a reminder, this game is only 7 innings due to the doubleheader. The Bulldogs fell in the first game, and they're looking to get the win here in the second. So an off speed there by Evans, tries to get something in on the hands, either to force Vance to lock up the wrists on it, or just pop something on the opposite side of the field. And here's the delivery. It's going to be clubbed in Netterville. It's going to be just past his glove and out into left field for a 2-out single. And once again, we have 2 outs and another hit. So Vance is going to make his way over to first base, and we are going to see Cole Drake, the left fielder, get his chance against Evans.
Now batting the left fielder, number 25, Cole Drake.
Double in game 1 earlier today, but over 3 in this game for Drake. It was fine. The right struck out and get into a double play.
Drake earlier this afternoon went 1 for 5. Runners going, and it's popped up in the infield. Dropping back is Alec Hardy. There could be trouble. No. It's going to be called off by Carson Chavies, who hauls it in for the third out of the inning. To the bottom of the 6th we go. Bulldogs still down by 1. It's 6-5 here in Jackson. 6 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for Mississippi College. 5 runs, 8 hits, and 3 errors for the Bulldogs.
Mention BallGame Blitz Sports Network and receive a free gift.
Blake Barrett looking to get things started here for the Bulldogs. He's had a great weekend at the plate. We're going to see Gavin LeBlanc return to the mound once again. So far in this game, he has thrown a total of 5 innings, thrown 76 pitches, given up 8 hits, 5 runs, faced 23 batters, and struck out 4. Blake Barrett's going to launch that one sky high out towards right field. Vance is underneath it, and he hauls it in for the first out of the inning as Barrett goes down. LeBlanc is currently hunting for his season high. That is now officially his 2nd longest game that he has been in. The longest one he went was on March 3rd against Tampa in the loss there. He went 6 1/3 innings there, gave up 9 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, and struck out 4 in that game. Now he matched it on March 10th in West Alabama, where he went 5 1/3 innings, gave up 11 hits in that one. He's currently given up 8 here today. Up against him now is Grant Ross, the starting pitcher for the Bulldogs. He struck out swinging in the first inning, and then he singled and was thrown out in that weird base running situation in the 4th, and he takes a daddy hack at that one and swings right through it. Looked like he was about to chop down a tree with an axe on that swing. So he had the single in the 4th inning, and that was the one where he got trapped between first and second. They got him in a pickle and gunned him. So couple base running woes here for the Bulldogs in this one. But very interesting to see how this game started with just an offensive blowout. Choctaw put up 2 in the top of the 1st. Bulldogs responded with 3 in the bottom of the inning. In the 2nd inning, they put up The Choctaw put up 3. Bulldogs back with 2. Choctaw took the lead in the third, and we haven't seen one since. Ross is going to take the walk, and the Bulldogs have their first runner on here in the 6th inning and a chance to get things started. They don't have to wait till 2 outs to get the rally going, as they often have in this series, and Colby Davis is now going to be the batter. He had an absolute line drive blast to Thomas in the 4th inning. He was robbed of a hit there, and he grounded out to the pitcher LeBlanc in the 2nd inning. We're going to have a pinch runner over there for Grant Ross. They're bringing in Eli Snelson, the sophomore transfer, Miles College. And Snelson's going to take off running, and it's a foul ball. Snelson with quite a bit of speed out there. Snelson was hauling to get to second base as quick as possible. Davis trying to drop the bunt. We've seen that happen yesterday where they get 1 or 2 runners on, just trying to move them over with anything possible. If I'm Davis, I might just let him swing away. So far this season, Eli Snelson has 2 stolen bases. He had 1 against the University of West Florida on February 25th. And then he also had 1 on February 11th against West Liberty. Now, he was caught stealing against Arkansas Monticello on March 28th. So he's got 3 attempts on the season, 2 stolen bases. He's looking to try to get his 3rd here in the 6th inning. So the Bulldogs hoping they can take the lead here, not have to worry about playing the bottom of the 7th, but we'll see what they can do here with the 1 out. Snelson over there at first. It'll be interesting to see if they sub him out if we do get back to him in the lineup. This was about the point in the game. The Choctaw blew it open, and Davis is unable to drop the bunt. They say it's going to be a dead ball. Went right off of what looked like his left foot. Charging in quickly was LaRocca. LaRocca really hoping to try to grab that one and either roll 2 or at least get 1 out. So now he's swinging away. 0-2 the count to Davis. He's got to put something in play here. Just another one of those line drives or hard hit ground balls, and he's going to pop that one over the first base side towards the field house. It's getting a little bit brighter here in Jackson. Lots of clouds, some dark, some bright, but the blue sky is shining through out there in the northwest.
Snelson at first.
So LeBlanc to Snelson. Off speed, outside, LeBlanc to Davis. Good look there by Colby. Colby transferred in this year from the Marion Military Institute. Played a year of baseball there. Pick off attempt there by LeBlanc over there to try to get Snelson. Davis playing in his first game of the weekend so far this season. He has started in now his 8th game today. He's played in 19 games, and here's a delivery which he pops up on the right side. Charging over is Reese, and it's going to be out of reach and behind the Choctaw dugout. We're going to reset here. LaRocca still playing pretty shallow, even though the bunt opportunity is removed with 2 strikes. Alcantara and Thomas both playing close to the bag, hoping that their pitcher is able to force a ground ball, hoping to roll an up double play. That's why we see Thomas so close out there, and that's going to be just outside the zone. What a great take there by Colby Davis. He has some great plate discipline here to allow that one to go just a little bit outside of the zone. So far this season, Davis has 5 walks. He's been hit by a pitch once and struck out 6 times. It's going to be out towards center field. It's going to get through 2 Choctaw gloves, and the Bulldogs have something going here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They're going to credit that as a hit to Davis, and went off the glove of LeBlanc right past the middle infielders. Alcantara and Thomas were crashing in on it, and Rollins is the one who receives it out in center field. Ross makes his way to second. Davis now at first. And we go to the 9-hitter in Canyon Pace. Canyon has a single, and that might do it here for LeBlanc. We might go to the bullpen. Yes, we will here for the first time against Mississippi College. We'll be right back with you here in a brief moment after what looks to seem like a pitching change. So the Choctaws decide to stick it out here with Gavin LeBlanc. He's at 5 1/3 innings at 91 pitches. Their bullpen reliever went to the gate thinking he was going to come into the game, but they decided against it. So he's got to face Canyon Pace, and it's going to get away from the catcher, and both runners are going to advance, and the Bulldogs have both the tying run and the winning run in scoring position. The first time they have threatened to strike since the 3rd inning, and it's looking dangerous here with Ross now at 3rd base, Davis on 2nd, and there are some dangerous waters here if you are Gavin LeBlanc. Can't let anything go in the dirt. Kirsch is going to take the fault for that one. He waves over the dugout, says, hey, that's on me, not on LeBlanc. Looking to defend his pitcher who just spiked on the dirt, and it's going to be a bunt attempt for Canyon Pace. We might see the speed of Eli Snelson over there at 3rd try to get something coming home. Coach Casey's going to give his batter his signal over there from the 3rd base dugout. We're going to see what Canyon Pace does here with 2 balls and no strikes. Will he try to drop a bunt down the 3rd base line? We see both of them infielders moving in. Reese playing extremely close, more towards the mound as he comes charging in. But an interesting situation. LaRocca has to play tight as well for a possible bunt. The only person playing a normal position right now is Alcantara. We see Thomas dropped back, ready to protect as well if he has to cover a base. And it's going to be a really off pitch there by LeBlanc, clearly rattled by the situation, the big pressure of the moment. And Coach Casey is going to give the call to Canyon. He's going to get back in the box, and he's got 3 balls, 1 strike. So far this season, Canyon Pace has only 1 walk, has a chance for his 2nd of the year here now, and he's going to set that right down to the first baseman. There's going to be a play at the plate, and they're going to tag out Snelson, setting up a 1st and 3rd. They get the lead runner, and a great play there by the Choctaw defense. Saves a run here in the bottom of the 6th, but now we are back to the top of the Bulldog lineup. They've got 2 outs, which is when they do their best anyways, and we'll see if they can get a rally going. So Snelson is removed from the base path, and now Davis is going to be at 3rd base with Canyon Pace over at 1st on the fielder's choice. So an interesting decision there by Reese to not step on the bag, but to just take it directly home, trying to get the out, and that is going to do it for LeBlanc. We're going to see our first pitching change. The Choctaws are coming out of the dugout to congratulate their pitcher who went 5 2/3 innings. He ends with 96 pitches, and we'll be right back with you here in a few brief moments for Britt Netterville to come to the plate.
The BallGame Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios. With over 750,000 views in 2022, we are where you need to advertise. Please subscribe to our Worthy Road Studios YouTube channel and join the other 4,000 subscribers watching local sports, including Union University, USJ, TCA, Jackson Christian, and Peabody. Our multi-camera broadcasts include slow motion instant replay, on-screen scoreboard and graphics, and professional announcers. Thanks to our sponsors who make it all possible. BallGame Blitz Sports Network by Worthy Road Studios, the premier sports broadcast network in West Tennessee.
Mississippi College going to their bullpen for the first time in this game. They're going to bring in the guy who has acted as the closer and actually received the save in the first game. That's Jackson Smith, a 6'1", 175-pound senior out of Raymond, Mississippi. Graduated from Raymond High School, went to Northwest Mississippi Community College before transferring into Mississippi College. Last year he led the team in appearances, finished 2nd in saves, 3rd in games in relief appearances, and made 16 appearances, 15 of those coming from the bullpen. He began his collegiate career with Northwest Mississippi Community College and is facing Britt Netterville. Always interesting to see them bring in the same guy to try to get the job done. He got it done in the first game of the doubleheader today, but he is up against a stacked part of the Bulldog lineup here. He's got 2 runners on that he inherits from LeBlanc. And here's his pitch to Netterville. It's going to be in the gap. It's going to go out towards center field. The game is tied. And Netterville gets an RBI single right in the gap. Thomas was not well positioned for that, especially against a switch hitter like Netterville. He was ready for something that he pulls, and Netterville sneaks it right up the middle. The game is tied. The winning run is in scoring position at second base. That's Canyon Pace out there. So Colby Davis comes home. He scores, and Netterville is the hero here of the 6th inning. That run is going to be charged to LeBlanc, and Smith is going to now have to face Alec Hardy, who also has 2 hits in this game. He's got a pair of singles so far in this one. So Netterville here has a single in the first, a double in the second, and now the single in It's pressure time here in Jackson, Tennessee. Fesmeyer Field on the campus of Union University. Ryan Evans is going to reclaim his position on the mound. He closed out last night's game in the 9th inning after coming on to relieve Sam Poindexter, and he looks to do the exact same thing here today in the top of the 7th inning. He's going to be facing Wesley Sides, Bo Kirsch, and Bryce LaRocca to get out of this one. 1 pitch, 1 ball right to Netterville. He throws it over to first, and it is an easy 6-3 out there for Britt Netterville, who just got the RBI single to tie the game. And now we go to the Choctaw catcher in Bo Kirsch. Kirsch in this game had a single in the second and has had no productivity since then. He grounded out in the 3rd inning, grounded out once again in the 5th. The ground ball was to the pitcher in the 3rd inning. He hit it to the shortstop, Britt Netterville, in the 5th inning, and they're trying to do the same thing here as Evans looks to keep it middle and low here in the top of the 7th inning. It's going to be an interesting situation with the Bulldogs having another chance to walk it off here tonight. And here's a delivery to Evans. It's going to be low and in the dirt. 2 balls here to Kirsch. Kirsch didn't play in the first game of the doubleheader, but he did play last night. He reached on an error in the 4th inning. He flew out in the 6th inning and grounded out twice, both in the 8th and the 2nd inning last night. So Ryan Evans out of Dyer County High School. We got to see his brother pitch earlier today. Showing bunt there was Kirsch, pulls it back at the last second to take strike 1. Always interesting to do with a 3-ball, no strike count. Just trying to force Evans to get in his head. And that's going to be put out towards left field. Swanson doesn't even have to move. He's right underneath it and hauls it in with only having to take 1 step. So 2 outs here, and it's going to bring up Bryce LaRocca. So the 3rd baseman, Bryce LaRocca, hitting 162 on the season. He's got 11 hits, 10 runs, and 68 plate appearances this season. Ryan Evans had the Perfect Game Battle, the Bluegrass All-Tournament Award, as well as the Perfect Game World Wood Bat National Championship All-Tournament. I can name many of the accolades of the man standing on the mound right now. Currently at Union, he has served kind of as a both starter and a closer. It's going to be right close to the mound. It's going to fall on the screen there, right behind the plate. Canyon Pace running out of room to get it. It landed on the fan side and rode the net down. So far this season, Ryan Evans has a career high of 5 innings pitched. That was on March 18th against Delta State. But he has kind of transitioned a little bit more towards a relief position since then. He's gone 2 2/3 against Arkansas Monticello, threw 3 innings earlier this week against Lane. Pitched last night, just went the 1 inning in the 9th, walked 1, struck out 1, and got the save in that game. Actually, he didn't get the save. He got the win because they got the W in the bottom of the 9th inning, something they're going to look to do here in the bottom of the 7th as well. Fans, a couple of them still sticking around here. And that's going to be hit down the 3rd base line, right out of reach of Mitch Sisk. Foul. Looks like Ethan Horwig taking off there to grab that foul ball. So Ryan Evans on the mound, holding his stretch position with length. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and popped up in the infield. Blake Barrett is underneath that, and he's got it in foul territory. 3 up, 3 down. Perfect inning for Ryan Evans. To the bottom of the 7th we go. Bulldogs with a chance to take the lead and the W. Choctaw are going to send out Smith, and that's going to be the first hit of the inning there. We're going to get things started here in the bottom of the 7th inning with a Carson Chavy single right off the bat here. Great play there by Carson to get things going here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Just a reminder, they only need 1. Last night they did the same thing. They got the walk-off. Simmons came in last night. He walked the bases loaded, and Blake Barrett was the hero of that one. Now Mitch Sisk is going to get a chance at the reliever. Sisk in this game reached on an error in the first inning, came around to score out in center field. He flew out in the 3rd inning and singled and was left stranded in the 5th inning. So we've got Chavies over there at first. Sisk takes that one way outside. Pressure of the moment here allows Smith to throw that one away, way off the mark. He's going to lean in and get the motion there from his coach. So Sisk going to take a breath. No pitch clock here. They're going to take a moment here. Shake the windmill of the bat. The 3rd baseman playing close. It's going to be a little bunt. It's going to be a 1-hopper. They're going to have a chance for 2. It's thrown off the mark, but they are able to get the play at second. They're going to say that Chavies is eliminated from the bases, and Sisk makes his way over to first on the fielder's choice. The bunt was unable to be productive. The goal was to move Chavies over and Sisk take the out, but a quick play there by the relief pitcher Smith is well done there. But there's still one on, and Grayson Swanson is the batter. Swanson in the heart of the lineup here for the Bulldogs. Struck out swinging in the 1st inning, grounded out in the 3rd inning, and he hit one back to the pitcher, and he is due. That one's going to be opposite field, running over his Vance. He's running out of room, and it's going to be on the warning track. And 1 run is going to come home. Here comes Sisk. He's rounding 3rd. They're going to hold him up there, and Swanson is going to have a double. They're not going to make the play at the plate. Sisk was ready to round it and make his way home, but they decided to hold him up. Vance made a diving play. Something the Choctaws continue to love to do is dive on plays that they don't need to dive on, and I don't think they've made a diving catch yet in this series. And once again, the Bulldogs are able to strike. The boys were getting ready to come out of the dugout, and they said, hold up, you're going to have to stay there just for a moment. They're going to walk Blake Barrett. They don't want him to have another one back-to-back here. So Barrett will make his way over to first base on the intentional walk to set up the force at any base, including the double play, and it looks like the man of the hour is going to be Eli Snelson. Yes, it is. So Sisk is now at 3rd. We'll see. They're going to say it's a double given to Grayson Swanson. So I told you he was due, and yes, he was. So we have Sisk at 3rd, Swanson at 2nd, and Barrett now at first base with Eli Snelson up to the plate. Snelson getting his first plate appearance in this game. He came on as a pinch runner for Grant Ross earlier, and he is going to see Smith for the first time. Only 1 out. Great conservative base running there by Mitch Sisk over there at 3rd. Good decision there by the Bulldogs not to try to risk anything. He probably could have gone home, but it's a woulda, coulda, shoulda situation as Eli Snelson takes the next one outside. So the last thing we want here is a walk. If you're in the Choctaws, the Bulldogs will take it any way they can get it. Blake Barrett had the walk-off last night. They didn't want to give it to him again today, so they sent him over to first intentionally. Playing pretty shallow is Reese and LaRocca. And here's a delivery from Smith. It's going to be out towards right center field, and it's going to fall. Sisk is going to come running home. Snelson rounds first, and a W for the Bulldogs. They walk it off the second time in 2 days. That is going to be Eli Snelson with the RBI single. The Bulldogs walk it off. They win this one 7-6. They're back in the win column once again. They take the series. Mississippi College falls. Rollins and Vance out in center field and right field don't even have a chance at it. A great hit, a great location, and a great delivery there by Eli Snelson. He came in, got the start earlier today, wasn't able to have the day that they totally wanted on the mound. He did pretty well, but he is the hero of the series. It was Barrett last night, Snelson tonight, and we don't have to worry about it for a while. The Bulldogs are back in the win column exactly where they want to be. They will now improve to 12-22 on the season. Now, don't forget to join us later. The next game is going to be on April 14th, which is next weekend. It's on Friday in Cleveland, Tennessee against Lee University. The Bulldogs go back on the road for a couple of days before coming back on April 18th against Harding University. So a little bit of a recap on this game. It looks like the winning pitcher is going to be Ryan Evans. Once again, Jackson Smith getting the loss in this one. No save opportunity. The Bulldogs, they won it with 7 runs on 13 hits, 3 errors. They left 5 on base, 7 RBIs, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. They're victorious this afternoon, and they take the series. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We will see you back here in about a week and a half on the broadcast. Don't forget that we are all going to celebrate tomorrow that Christ is risen. The Bulldogs are victorious, and a great day here in Jackson. Thank you from all of us here at Bulldog Baseball and Worthy Road Studios. My name is Ethan Voss, and we'll see you later. Good night.